What is going on, Casually FC? Welcome to another installment of the Casually Chelsea Show. Where is Mauricio Pochettino, and why hasn't he been announced as a Chelsea manager yet? Sterling coming out with more comments towards the owners, and Lukaku looking like it's actually going to be him staying at Chelsea next season. We'll discuss this and a lot more later on in the show. But before we go ahead and continue, ladies and gentlemen, you know what to do. Make sure you smash those likes, please, as it does help the channel out with the algorithm on YouTube and growth and discovery. Make sure you are subscribing if you haven't done so already. We are on our way to 1,800 subscribers, so it'd be a grandiose help if you guys could subscribe and help us get closer and closer to that goal. Be sure to also leave a comment down below. Check out some of the links in the description, as there are other links to other forms of content that we make on here. And also try checking out the memberships. Big up to everyone that's joined memberships. For those of you who are members or currently watching, there's a brand new emoji for you guys to use. It's called the bad take emoji. That's what I like to call it. So yeah, go ahead, enjoy that emoji. It's a fun one, and spam it in the chat whenever there's a bad and stinky take on the panel, which I'm sure there's plenty of. But yeah, before we continue, just want to give a shout out to all the proper casual and higher tier members, being Winter Surfer, Daniel, Strasbourg Steve, OG Turbo Jesus, Dark, and Scott. Big up to you guys, as you guys help run this channel, as well as all the other members. So big up to you guys. Give yourselves a pat on the back. And please, if you haven't done so, if you haven't become a member, do consider it, as it is a great way to help the channel and a great way to have fun and have a more exclusive experience with the channel. There'll be more perks coming with the memberships as well. So yeah, go for it. Enjoy that new emoji, as it's a fun one. But yeah, ladies and gents, I'm here with Oliver on my panel. More people will be joining in shortly, I'm sure. But let's start things off with the first topic, which is Petr Cech, now a Hall of Famer. Petr Cech has been inducted into the Premier League Hall of Fame. Congratulations, Petr Cech. Hey, this was long overdue. I don't know who else is in this Hall of Fame. Actually, I'm gonna look it up right now.
I think they've only been like they've sort of been focusing on players higher up on the pitch. So like they've been putting midfielders and attackers in. I think they also just recently added Fergie and Wenger, so they're the first two managers. But I think Petr Cech's the first goalkeeper, and you know, it's rightfully deserved. You know, the most clean sheets in the history of the Premier League, the best defensive season in the history of the Premier League. You know, it's great news. You know, he really deserves it. So big up Petr Cech.
Of course. I'm seeing here the 2023 inductees are Sir Alex Ferguson, Arsene Wenger, Rio Ferdinand, Petr Cech, and Tony Adams.
Yeah.
2022.
Great players, great managers.
Oh, no, Peter Schmeichel was on the 2022 one.
Oh, well, he was great as well, you know. No, I'm not going to take that away from him.
Yeah, and we have Aguero on here, Vincent Kompany, Didier Drogba, Paul Scholes, obviously Vieira, Rooney, Ian Wright.
I think Lampard's Lampard's in there.
Lampard's already here. 2021, Lampard in there as well. Roy Keane, Eric Cantona, Thierry Henry, Alan Shearer. Great names to be. They've only done it for the last 3 years. Dennis Bergkamp, Steven Gerrard, David Beckham. Yeah, these are great names to be amongst, held highly amongst. And actually, they did less inductees this year. They only did 5 as opposed to 8 that they did the last 2 years. So, hey, congratulations, Petr Cech. Very much well deserved. In there before Van der Sar. I just want to point that out. That rivalry, that Man United rivalry that existed. Well, still kind of exists, but existed many, many years ago when we were both competing for the Prem with Sir Alex Ferguson in there.
Yeah, we got him.
But yeah, we got him. We got him. But yeah, we need to get is John Terry in there? I didn't even notice that. John Terry's not even in there yet. Oh, we'll see if he makes it. You know, controversy and all that. But Eric Cantona, isn't that what I said, or did I say Cartona? I
said Cartona. Yeah.
Oops, sorry. I saw an R there. It's my dyslexia. Okay. So hey, leave me alone. Okay. All right. I'm allowed to make mistakes. I do a lot of talk. I do a lot of talking on this channel. I say a lot of things. I'm gonna mess it up from time to time. Okay. So bear with me. But yeah, no, congratulations, Peter Cech. Very much well deserved, especially considering the history he has with Chelsea, how long he's been, and even on when he played for Arsenal, he was pretty good for them too. So
Yeah, I think he won a Golden Glove at them with them guys.
yeah, big up the guy. Big up the guy. So very much deserved. Happy for him. The next topic I want to move on to is the Premier League now discussing how they're going to be managing VAR. Oops, I did this wrong. Anyways, hold on. I got you right here, and we're gonna share right this window. There we go. So we have Mail Sport reporting that Premier League clubs are being consulted over plans to let fans listen to the conversation between referees and VARs after games in hopes of demystifying how and why decisions are reached. I would argue that this should be something that you're allowed to listen to during the game, not after the game. Because there's many times where, listen, VAR's been under a lot of controversy in recent times, and even today with the I did see that shot that looked oddly similar to how Reece James defended his goal against Liverpool last season, and he was sent off for it. But who was the player that got hit? The Arsenal player, was that Odegaard?
God, I can't remember.
I'll look up real quick. See if I can identify this player.
It might have been Kiwior. I can't remember.
Oh, the defender. Gotcha. This looks oddly similar to how Reece defended the goal. But then again, I mean, you got Ramsdale behind him. Maybe Ramsdale is there, whereas Reece is much more definitive goal scoring opportunity. But regardless,
it's quite a hard one to really put your finger on, because when a deflection happens with that many bodies in the box, the ball can go anywhere.
But regardless, I do feel that there needs to be more discussions had about what the process is with VAR and what exactly they're fucking talking about. Because there are many times where we cannot fathom why a decision came to its decision and what the referees are kind of going to when it comes to like a point of reference or what exactly they're discussing or what differences they may have. I don't know. I feel like when it comes to the decision making on what's going to happen with a certain decision, I feel like it is valuable to see where the referees or what criteria they're using to analyze certain decisions. I don't know if you agree or disagree, Oliver.
No, totally. We need to be let in on this more, because there are just, with VAR, it was supposed to come in to, to stop the controversies and to fix a lot of the problems that were happening due to the errors made by on pitch officials, but it only just seems to make it worse and more convoluted. I mean, this season alone, we've had some egregious decisions. Probably the biggest one was the Cech handball against West Ham, if you remember that. We had his hand planted on,
yes,
and many others. Like,
Mike Dean. That was Mike Dean's call too.
Was Mike Dean the VAR? Or was he on the pitch?
He was on the pitch. He was on the pitch.
Okay, so whoever the VAR was, they didn't come and intervene. So it's just quite unclear, because we don't really, they're trying to say, oh, we come in for clear and obvious errors, yet they don't always stick to that, and it just doesn't make a lot of sense. So, the fans need to be let in a lot more on this, and not just the fans, but you've also got ex-pros that constantly question this because they played the game, they understand it, and they're even questioning it too. So, it's just a shambles at the moment. We really need to be let in more on this, because, it's not making sense to anybody, whether that be fans or experts.
Yeah. And the other thing too is that you could argue that actually, no, you can't. I think these referees do need to be under more scrutiny. I think they get away with too many bad calls, too many bad decisions, and they're not punished for it. And we did see what happened with Tuchel early in the season. He had to pay a fee and was suspended for a large amount of time.
Yeah.
But Kante wasn't given the same treatment. Meanwhile, the referee who is allowing Cucurella to get his hair pulled in the box and all these other things leading to a goal, they don't get punished for their bad decisions. So I do think that these referees in the Premier League especially need to be under more scrutiny. And if it means listening to the conversation, seeing what they're saying, and judging it by that as well. Like, I really do think the Premier League needs to start taking their refereeing a lot more seriously, because it's been a joke for the past however many years that this has been happening now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just it's shit. So I think this needs to happen, and I would say like not even after the games. I would say during the games. I do think these referees do need to
Just
be looked under.
get Thomas Griffith's comment up there. That's a great point.
Oh, the rugby one, yeah.
Yeah, they get to hear it, so like it really shouldn't be too difficult. And the only reason that they wouldn't allow us to hear the referees is because of, like you said, the culture of protecting them and not holding people to account on poor decisions and just illogical basis on decisions.
Did that really happen, Turbo Jesus? The referees assaulting players. That happened today.
That was one incident. No. This was like a few games ago. It was Robertson approached the referee and he looked like he kind of like lifted his elbow and kind of caught him in the jaw.
Oh,
I don't. That's one incident though. That's one incident though. Like I wouldn't really put too much. That's not referees attacking players. That's literally one incident in how many years? So.
Fair enough. Okay, the next topic I wanted to bring up for today's show is the direction of our sporting director, and it looks like it will not be Paul Mitchell. So let's go ahead and read this tweet right here. Ben Jacobs reporting, understand Chelsea are not currently considering Paul Mitchell. CFC owners are happy with Lawrence Stewart and Paul Winstanley and their current recruitment structure. Model will continue to evolve, but Mitchell hasn't been approached. I would still like to have a director of football, even though, like, I agree with what they're saying here. They being happy with the way Lawrence Stewart and Paul Winstanley have been running things, but I still think, and maybe you can make the argument that you shouldn't have too many hands in the kitchen, but regardless, I think we should have a direction and stages in which that direction goes. We should have a short-term plan, a long-term, a middle-term plan, and a long-term plan as well. And I think director of football is going to be needed to have that happen. So if it's not Paul Mitchell, it should be someone else. I don't think we should just stay, satisfied and content and complacent with just Lawrence Stewart and Paul Winstanley. I don't know how you feel about this, Oliver.
I tend to agree. I mean, like they're kind of co-sporting directors, so you could have a bit of an aspect where it's too many cooks in the kitchen. I mean, I did see a report today from Felix Johnson, and take it with a pinch of salt.
Sure.
But he was saying that he understands that Chelsea are working on establishing a hierarchy amongst the directors. So whether that means promoting one of the current ones to like the head sporting director, or whether that means bringing in someone from the outside, that we could be trying to look at finding that number one guy that everyone reports to, because as it stands at the moment, Winstanley and Stewart, they're all reporting to Boehly and Egbali. So it's about finding a footballing brain for those guys to talk to.
And what was their original position supposed to be when we brought them in? Do you remember?
I don't know. I mean, because when we first brought them in, I think there might have been some issues in terms of like gardening leave. So we signed them, but we couldn't really get them in straight away. I think by that point, when we were signing them, it was Boehly was the interim sporting director, but then he, before the January window, he relinquished his responsibilities and he delegated those to Winstanley and Stewart.
Yeah, I do want to see another very serious and a very credible sporting director be assigned. Paul Mitchell was a strong contender. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not too annoyed about it because from the evidence we have from the January window, the guys that are currently in place definitely, that they have the nous and they have the connections to do a good job. They can find players that have certain attributes, and they only need to go one or two steps before being bona fide starters. And look at Madueke. He's showing fantastic dribbling ability. All we need now is a manager who can coach final third decision making, and then we're sorted. And Badiashile already looks pretty complete. So as much as it would be great aesthetically to say, these guys are reporting to the football brain, it kind of seems like we're doing a good job already with some of those, especially the January signings, the guys that we brought in with Winstanley and Stewart doing their jobs.
for sure. I can't disagree with that. So, I mean, I don't think it's detrimental, but I think it's important, and it will become pivotal for the future of the club. Right now, I think we're doing okay, but I think there should be that Michael Edwards or who was the other one that we threw in the mix as well?
It was Louis Campos.
Louis Campos as well.
There might have been one other, I can't remember.
Yeah, I think Paul Mitchell was the third one that was thrown into the mix.
Who was the other one? So you have Campos, Mitchell, and who else?
Michael Edwards.
Oh,
Edwards. It was just those three names that were just those three names were just thrown into the mix.
Yeah, my bad. Okay.
But yeah, like when we've seen these guys have a reputation of signing the next hottest prospect. We've seen that with a lot of the players that are now, really important starting players in their respective teams. Mm-hmm. We don't know what could happen with Mudryk and Madueke and all of them. Maybe they could become that, but I still think that having a sporting director would be beneficial for us to ensure that does happen. What's going on, Chris? How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good. A little bit late. I thought it'd be a little bit sooner.
Fine. Don't worry about it, man. You're good. All right. So the next thing I want to discuss is not necessarily Chelsea related, but it is Chelsea related. So let me go ahead and change the topic to this, and let's discuss Jude Bellingham going to Real Madrid. So Fabrizio Romano pretty much reporting that the deal is close. Real Madrid are close to the complete deal to sign Jude Bellingham. Confirmed. Negotiations are progressing to the final stages. Personal terms are almost agreed. Juni Salafat crucial again. New meeting has been scheduled to complete the agreement with Borussia Dortmund. I'd say this is related to Chelsea because we were linked with the kid for a hot minute. And it was looking like we were actually going to approach him and actually make a move for him in the summer. But the rumors kind of died down and went a little cold. Probably for, better reasons. Maybe the price tag on him.
And we signed Enzo.
And we signed Enzo as well. But are you guys feeling a little annoyed about this? Would you have wanted Bellingham to be in the club with Enzo? You think we could have used him? Because I still think all of us should be in agreement. I'm pretty sure that we need a number 6, and Bellingham could fit that mold.
No, he's a number 8.
Need Ahmed and his hairline on a panel. I agree. Where's Ahmed's hairline, man? Where's he at?
I don't know. He's somewhere.
Sorry.
But Bellingham's more of an attacking kind of midfielder. Like he can play the 6 role, like as in like. He can do the interceptions and stuff, but he's not the proper like holding DM that we're trying to look for. So they definitely, him and Enzo wouldn't really work in a double pivot. I'd like to see that more. If we could get them in a team where it's a 4-3-3, them two as number 8s, I think that could work. But the finances involved, Dortmund saw us pay 100 million for Enzo, and they're like, okay, we're going to put 150 million tag on Jude. So they're kind of using the fact that we broke the market to kind of set a baseline standard. And considering we have Enzo, and considering that if it is Poch that's going to be coming in, we're going to be playing a 4-2-3-1. We've got Nkunku coming in as the number 10. We have Enzo as one half of the double pivot. Go and get a DM for the other half. I don't think Jude would be necessary, but at the end of the day, with Jude, it's just kind of frustrating because Real Madrid are kind of building this like Galactico youth midfield, and it's just like
Tchouaméni, now Bellingham.
This should be illegal. That's really the end. That's the beginning and end of it. It should be illegal.
The potential midfielders to go get as well, like Tchouaméni, obviously he could become a really good player in the future. Camavinga, he looks pretty good actually. I think he looks better than maybe Tchouaméni, but I could be wrong. But I think Camavinga, Tchouaméni and DM probably, and Jude Bellingham, that is like one fiery midfield. Like they're going to reboot of the Kroos, Modric and Casemiro, really.
And they still got Valverde to come.
Valverde, thing with Valverde, he's so what's the word I'm looking for now? He can play multiple positions.
He's versatile.
Oh, no.
Versatile, that's it. I couldn't get that word out. Yeah, he's so versatile.
On the right wing. Yeah.
I've even seen him play right back. Valverde Champions League. So that guy literally
okay.
it was against Liverpool a while ago. He played right back because they had a lot of injuries. But
Wow.
yeah, like Valverde's an unbelievable midfielder too. So yeah, they got some midfielders, but I would like, because I reckon, because Poch does play the 4-3-3 as well, right? So if we signed obviously Jude Bellingham, but I know we're not, like you said. If we had Jude Bellingham and Enzo and like an actual DM, even a Declan Rice, I would have still took a Declan Rice as a DM, long as it ain't too much. Like I always said with Declan Rice, he's about 60 million player. I think he's around like that price for me. He is a decent player. I don't think he's like bad. Like a bit of jokes, banter, or whatever agenda.
No.
He's a good midfielder. He's a guy who like people ticks box for like DM destroyer. Can like even go forward as well, send balls forward, helps attack as well. So yeah, we're not getting him, but I'd take an Enzo. I think Enzo probably could be better in midfield in the future. Time will tell, but Enzo is showing a lot of promise, and just that Chelsea team, I think he's done well in the poor side we have.
I'll comment on what you said about Poch using the 4-3-3. That was really kind of just at PSG, and that was, you know, what he did with that was he wanted to play 4-2-3-1, and it would have been like a front four. So you have Mbappe as the striker, Neymar on the left, Di Maria on the right, and Wijnaldum in the 10. But when Messi came in, they had to, because Di Maria has good work rate, but when Messi comes in, they had to compensate for the lack of work rate. So they had to move to a 4-3-3 where they basically just played like destroyers in the midfield. So it's kind of like what Liverpool do, except that Liverpool are pressing forwards, but it's that idea of playing like three defensively minded midfielders in a 3 in order to keep the team solid. Like Poch's general formation is 4-2-3-1. He'll want to do that. I think that 4-3-3 was kind of just.
I think it depends like how we suit. If we suit more of a 4-3-3, I really think Poch will go for that. But yeah, he will go either one to what suits Chelsea more, and probably a 4-2-3-1 because you can have Enzo as more attacking DM, but a 4-3-3 could suit us as well. Like I think we could see both. I really think we could see both formations.
The thing is, I don't want Poch to go to what we're suited for, because that will just mean the back 3 again, and we'll just have all this drama on Twitter about we can't attack because of the back 3. So just come in, Poch. I need you to come in, or whoever the manager is. I need you to come in. I need you to get your players that suit your system and roll with it, because that's what we should be investing in. We shouldn't be investing in someone just to come and pick up the pieces. We need someone to put their idea on this team and move us up the table.
Hey man, Postecoglou, my manager.
Three-back formation is like one of my favorite formations. It's not my favorite. My favorite's the 4-2-3-1 but back
I never
three is
hated
solid.
it.
Never
hated it. I never had a complaint. I just wanted good football.
Marshall, we won Premier League in that formation, and we won Champions League in that formation.
Yeah, I know.
It's not a bad formation.
I don't know. People get too obsessed with formations, man.
I really like the formation. I like parts of the formation. I just don't want this to be used as another alibi to let our attackers miss chances, and it's always the formation. Nah, or we can't create chances because of the formation. No, it's because of our players.
We can't have it because Jorginho's not here anymore. We can't blame it on him.
Yeah, let's actually hold our players to account and have some standards for once.
By the way,
we'll blame someone.
By the way, 50 of you guys watching, make sure if you haven't done so already, please smash that like button, because it does help the channel grow and with the YouTube algorithm and discoverability. So I would really greatly appreciate it. Just like you come into your house and you wipe your feet on the carpet, come into the stream, smash that like button, and we move. Next topic that I wanted to talk about is Kante's contract and what's been going on with that, which has been little to nothing. So let's go ahead and discuss that. N'Golo Kante contract situation. It's gone a bit quiet, hasn't it? Had more confidence a couple of weeks ago, and that's not because I have heard any bad or contradictory information. I did notice a report in France that said the expectation is that he will sign for Chelsea again. I just wish it hadn't gone this quiet. This is Matt Law reporting a while ago from the London is Blue podcast. We just never discussed it. So that being said, it is a little worrisome. I'm not going to lie. I do want N'Golo Kante to sign a contract, especially now that we've seen him post-surgery on the hamstring and he's been performing and he's been at his best. You know, there's still the deficiencies that Kante has, which is the bad passing and all that, and potentially him getting re-injured. We'll see what happens. But I honestly, I don't even care at this point how we sign him. I kind of just give him the contract he wants. 3 years, fine. That's great. I don't mind having Kante for another 3 years as long as he keeps up, you know, this form. And as for the injuries, it's tough, but if he can play at least 2/3 of the season and only be injured for a third of it, I think I can be okay with whatever contract we give him. I don't know if you guys agree with that or how you feel about the contract situation.
A third of the season, you'd be okay? A 300 plus K a week?
If he missed a third of the season but can play the way he's been playing recently,
so basically, yeah.
I think I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, maybe, but I'll go on, Oliver.
I think he still needs to take a wage cut. Like, he has been fantastic for us, but if we're basing this on, you know, what he signed his last contract extension in 2018, so this is like in the last 5 years, like he's had some great performances here and there, and obviously the run to the Champions League was great, but the consistency hasn't been there to demand in the range of 300k. So, you know, whilst I'd definitely give him like a good 250 or something, you know, because he is still showing that he's a great player. But you know, it'll be interesting to see what the stumbling block actually is. You know, we're only speculating that it could be the way.
I think, and we did discuss this in a previous Casually FC. I think that the stumbling block could be that since we're changing to a more incentivized format when it comes to the contracts, it could possibly be that it's based on his availability, the new contract.
Well,
and
I think that's only fair based.
I think it's fair.
It's only fair based on his history, and you know, as much as he's been fit now, whatever we give him the contract, he plays his first game next season, he's out for 6 months again. So, that's a real possibility. So, you know,
Jesus Christ,
I'm fully on board with the incentive thing. I don't care which player it is. I don't care who you are. Get on board or get out. Simply, you know, not in the nicest way possible.
I don't think you could say that in a much nicer way.
For Kante, in the nicest way possible. Yeah. We love Kante.
I wouldn't give him a 3-year contract or 300k plus a week there, Marshall, because
what would you give him then, Chris?
What if he wants to be on the same wage, right?
You were Todd Boehly, Chris. What would you give?
If I was Todd Boehly, man, this club is going down well under. I'll be taking all that money home with me. But
my days.
I would honestly do what we do with Thiago Silva. He's old, and give him a year contract. I would just keep giving him a year extension. I will honestly do that for Kante, and if it's not working out, then we can either stand for the last year, whatever he has left, and move from there. Because I don't know how fit this man's going to play. Like, can he play all season? I don't know. The surgery looks like it's done wonders on him right now. Like, he's really running everywhere. Like, he's playing up right wing, he's playing up centre mid, he's playing up DM. He's helping defense. He is almost. I wouldn't go as far like saying Kante prime, but he's like to his old self in a way.
It's similar. It's not similar, but it's
hard to say.
Up there.
It's hard to say because this whole team has been so poor with managers and everything this season. I can't tell fully how good Kante is, but Kante is looking like one of the bright lights from the team. He is a very experienced player as well. He knows his game. He knows how he plays. We know how he plays. You know how effective he is as well with Chelsea. So I would just give him a year contract. I think that's fair for me, a year contract. But I'm
the thing is, though, Chris, if you remember earlier in the season, we I just read that message, Oliver. We were discussing that. I think one of the stumbling blocks was that Kante wanted 3 years, but we were only willing to give him 2. But now things have been going well, and it looks like we're going to give him the 3 years. So I don't think he even wants +1. And if he doesn't want it, then we should have probably got rid of him.
If he doesn't want +1,
this is hard to say.
This is
hard to say because now that I see N'Golo Kante, I'm willing to fight to keep him and move on Kovacic. But prior to seeing him, I was ready to keep Kova and have Kante go. but now it's tough because I don't know, man. Would you rather keep Kova than Kante?
Yeah, he's younger. They both get injured for starters, and Cover's on way less wage. I just rather keep Cover because he's got definitely more years in him. He's better on the ball. He's better at passing. He's better, yeah, like just most things. Except for like the only thing what Kante is definitely better at is obviously winning the ball, being aggressive, running everywhere, helping defense more on Cover. He's definitely up and down, but I'd rather keep Cover because like I do like Cover as well. But if Cover goes as well, I'm not too fussed. Like it happens, I'm not like
I'm not
that
gonna lie.
emotional.
I'm so happy we got another member because I can use that emoji. Because I think that's a bad take, Chris. But I think that's a bad take, Chris. But you know what? I respect it, Chris.
No, I think there's definitely like Cover's better on the ball and passing over Kante though. That is not like a lie.
Passing wise, yeah.
And even on the ball,
but-
dribbling wise, you can't compete to Cover.
But Chris,
I don't
right
know,
now,
but-
right now it's a matter of does Cover want to be here, and we know
Yeah.
that Kante does want to be here because his representation have come out with quotes saying that he wants to play at Chelsea for like 2-3 more years and then go to the Middle East.
His head
Is that
does
what
look
they said,
gone,
really?
I do agree.
Yeah, they did.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's what I saw.
Oh wow. I mean, yeah. Look, it's it's a tricky one. I think Koba does have to go with Kante. I don't know. It's weird because there is still that lingering feeling in me that he can get injured again, and he'll be out for a portion of the season. But I still stand by what I said earlier, Chris. I think with Kante, give him to 3 years. As long as you're playing 2/3 of the season, I'm okay with whatever salary we give him. I don't know.
I don't know
That's
because you know like how we look at FFP pattern with wages and what like
Sure.
if he doesn't work out, say for example he gets back to the old Kante injuries, like the surgery
Sure.
didn't go well obviously. Do we just like sell him straight away like with the 2 years and hopefully we can get money for it then whatever? Is that how you would look at it then? Like you're looking like okay, Kante's looking good. He's not looking like he's gonna get injured right now. Like so we're signed 3 years, but if he gets injured next season a lot, then would you move him on then?
Yeah, I'd probably
Yeah.
say that. I'd probably say that. While there's still some contract there to sell him off, but yeah, it's.
Marshall, I send a link to those quotes, by the way.
That does make sense to me, but
Let me put this on. This
I would love
in
to
a
keep
minute.
Cover and Kante like on a reasonable wage and everything, and 2-year contract or something. I don't know, but I don't know. I think they're great midfielders, and we're gonna have to look for other midfielders, and hopefully it
It's
work
a
out.
tricky situation because you have a player that doesn't want to be here anymore, in Kovacic, and you could tell by the way he plays.
Do you think
could
a lot
tell,
of
he's
players want to
just-
be here right now?
There's players like that don't want to be here, like Ziyech,
Oh, yeah,
that
definitely
can still
checked
put
out.
on a. They're fully checked out, but they can still put on a shift. Whereas Kovacic, like, I don't know, man. That last few
he
games
has
I've seen
moments.
Kovacic, he doesn't even have that many good moments. Like he's just completely like his head's somewhere else. He's like not even paying attention to what's going on the pitch anymore. Almost. Here are the Kante quotes or the Kante representatives quotes. According to French outlets Le Parisien, N'Golo Kante is likely to stay at Chelsea despite advances from Arsenal. I didn't know that. The Chelsea midfielder who recently returned from a long-term injury has been linked to a move away from the club as his contract expires at the end of the season. However, Kante's representatives have revealed the player wants to continue his career in London, while Kante was reportedly interested in reuniting with former manager Antonio Conte, who's recently sacked by Tottenham Hotspurs. His representatives suggest that the French international may shun Arsenal and extend his contract with Chelsea. N'Golo wants to continue his career in London, where he has his habits. Habits. He liked working with Antonio Conte, but he was fired from Tottenham. Arsenal also inquired. I think he'll extend his contract at Chelsea before perhaps leaving for the Gulf in 2 or 3 years, said the member of N'Golo's entourage. Gotcha. Conte has quickly reestablished himself as a starter at Chelsea after his injury, which is also true. No doubts that he's starting every game now so far. We do need to rest him, but He has been starting a lot, which has been a little bit concerning, not gonna lie. And his desire to remain in London as well. Despite this, he has yet to strike a deal with the Blues. But Foot Mercato reported in February that Kante was set to sign a contract extension until 2027.
Take that with a pinch of salt.
Yeah, we'll see.
That's
The
4
midfield's
years.
entourage has also revealed that Arsenal inquired about the services, but it seems that Kante will extend the contract before potentially moving to the Gulf region in the future. Despite interest from other club, Kante's representatives suggested the player is content with remaining in London and continue his career at Chelsea, which, hey, big up to you, man. If you want to continue your career at Chelsea, then by all means. And it also probably means that it's going to be easier to negotiate something. Maybe right now with all the drama going on around the club and with the sacking of the manager now being a priority, maybe that's been stalling these contract talks. So who knows? And on the topic of contract talks and the stalling of them, this could potentially play a factor. Play a factor with the following topic I want to discuss, which is Kovacic. And Kovacic honestly potentially looking like he might leave, but we don't know. So let's go ahead and read these tweets and talk about this. Let me put this on here. Working fast, boy. Working fast as fuck, boys. Here we go. Anyways, Chelsea are planning on only making 2 or 3 additions on their first team squad this summer. The majority of the focus is on outgoings. This is reported by Matt Law, which we kind of had an idea. The 2 or 3 positions going to be goalkeeper, striker, and a number 6. So we'll see what happens. But the following tweet is Kovacic related from Nazar Cancella. Mateo Kovacic is about to enter the final 12 months of his contract and looks likely to leave Stamford Bridge as part of a major clear out. Thomas Tuchel is keen on a reunion at Bayern Munich. This was a while ago. I know we didn't discuss it and it's gone quiet a bit. I think the Man City links have been more prominent than the Bayern Munich links, but the thing I want to discuss is the fact that there has been no discussions on extending Kovacic's contract. There's been no rumors that there have been discussions that have fallen through. It looks like we're just going to let it run and have him go. But then again, who knows? Maybe we're just caught up with the managers signing and the interviews and all that stuff that maybe we just haven't had time to do that. But there's a whole staff there, so I don't know. I'm just playing a little bit of devil's advocate here. But what do we guys think about Kovacic? Pretty much on his way out with no attempt to re-sign him.
Just on that, we managed to extend Chilwell's contract amidst all of this.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, true.
So, whatever you want to make of that. But yeah, he's not had a good season. I think we can all admit that. Even people that like him, I'm one of them. I really like Kovacic. He's a very misunderstood player. He's one of those. He's one of those examples where stats don't define you. He has his qualities, but he is 28. I think he just turned 29 as well. I think was it his birthday today or what?
Was it? I have no idea.
I know it was one of our players' birthdays.
I'm sure Kai would know.
Yeah, but,
I'm looking it up. I got it.
But
no, it was yesterday.
1994. Oh, so he's 29 now. Happy birthday, Kovacic.
Happy birthday, Kovacic.
It's telling me, mate.
There we go. I need a birthday button. That needs to,
no. I don't think you need one. Yeah, that's
okay,
good
you
enough.
sure?
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, if Tuchel wants him, right, and we get rid of him, why don't we, for example, like, give him a swap and like give him a bit of money for like Goretzka or Kimmich?
Oh no,
like,
not
why couldn't
they
like
won't get rid of Kimmich?
They're not
just saying
giving
one or two. One of the two.
They're not giving us Kimmich, and Goretzka's not good enough.
You don't think Goretzka's good enough to come in just to see? Like, I think he's alright. I know he's had a poor season.
I think you need to talk to Will about Goretzka's fall off since Hansi Flick.
Yeah, but he can rise again. How old is he? Like 25? He's not that old.
I don't know actually, but
he's not that old. Like he's like around mid-20s.
He just doesn't. Goretzka won't solve any of our problems. He's a bit like a Frank Lampard. He's like a box crashing, midfielder, box to box. And we need a DM. So
Kimmich will be a perfect DM. I can't lie. Like Kimmich is good on the ball. He's good. He just sits back. He can defend.
No, totally, but there's just zero chance that they sell him to us for like anything really. You know, he is there.
It
He is
wouldn't
one of
hurt
their
though
like.
to see how we could get along with. Hey, we give you Kovacic and 40 million for Kimmich.
Maybe. I mean, how old is Kimmich actually?
Kimmich is like 20, 29? I don't know. I don't really keep track of how old they are, but like
he
what?
is. How old is he? Can't find it.
I don't know how long his contract either. That's why I said 40, 50 million. But
he's 28 years old. So that I'm just asking that because does it really fit our vision for the
no. Chelsea need experienced players. We can't just throw all our older players out and just have youngsters. I don't agree with like having all that.
I don't think anyone's arguing that we should be throwing all of them out and that we shouldn't be replacing some with experience. But this is what the club's model is, as it seems. So I'm just talking in purely realistic terms.
The model right now is up in flames.
Yeah, it is. And
hire a young manager or promising manager, young players, and it's up in flames. Like we might have to resort to like experienced players, what gives you trophies, and have obviously younger players with them. Like why can't we have a bit of a balance? Like that's where we need to look at, because you can't, if you have all these young players are literally going to be very inexperienced and struggle for top four and struggle to win trophies as well. Unless they're elite, like all of the youngsters are elite already and like Haaland's level or whatever. But just realistically, you're not going to find 11 and all elite. Like you're going to find a couple maybe. But like Enzo, hopefully Enzo's going to be elite young midfielder. But we definitely need the experience. I think if we get rid of Kovacic, we have to get somewhere around 25 years old or upwards for a midfielder swap.
You think Goretzka's the answer?
No. Goretzka, I know he's had a poor season and everything. I know he's had a massive drop off, but I think maybe he can bring it back up. He could rise again. But that's being hopeful, I think, because maybe Poch can get the best out of him. Poch is a great manager, bringing the best out of players. Even on a downfall.
I just don't think we need his profile though. That's all I'm saying. You know, I know he can be a
Chris,
good
why
player,
do you want Goretzka?
He's an 8, isn't he? As I recall.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. So like if we play a 4-3-3, if we do, like him and Enzo as an 8, and we find a DM.
No,
I'd rather swap Kimmich. It's just one of those things.
No, what you said there with the 4-3-3, that could definitely work. It's just we got to kind of speculate on what Poch is going to do. He could maybe do the 4-3-3, although, like I said, that was due to the circumstances with Messi. Or maybe he could revert to type and go to the 4-2-3-1. We just don't know that yet, so it's kind of a matter of we got to wait and see. You know, first of all, if he comes in, and then second of all, when the preseason starts, we start seeing what he actually plans to do and the way he sets out the team.
Yeah.
Yes, David. I think you are the only one that thinks we need a midfielder that can score goals.
Yeah,
our Gundogan. Nah, man. Oh my god.
No, but Goretzka can't score goals in his
the thing is I shouldn't. Yes, it would be nice to have another Lampard, but
not Mason Mount.
He's an exception. Just like KDB is an exceptional player. There's not. Oh my God, Gerrard was an exceptional player. The thing is, and this is why, I feel like Kovacic gets a lot of hate for this reason, because he doesn't have enough goals or assists. The thing is, we shouldn't have to assess what makes a good midfielder based off of their goals and assists. A good midfielder is a midfielder that can complete multiple passes. A good midfielder is a midfielder that can complete multiple tackles or interceptions. A good midfielder is a midfielder that can last 90 minutes and be consistent in those 90 minutes. These are things that and just passing from the defense to the attack, which it might go under the radar a lot, but we've seen how defective Mason Mount was as a number 8 early season when we saw him under Potter, of connecting the attack with the defense as a number 8. That being said, Kovacic does well when he's in the mood for it and when he wants to be at Chelsea. He does a phenomenal job of doing this. the issue that people seem to have with Kovacic with the GNA is a result of us having really shitty attack that cannot put away the chances. If our attack put away the chances, this wouldn't even be a discussion. Kovacic would have a handful of assists and would probably have some goals in there too. And he was on his way towards that as well last season until he got hurt. So again, we don't criticize N'Golo Kante for the same thing. So I don't understand why Kovacic gets that criticism from Chelsea fan base, but players like N'Golo Kante don't. Jorginho got the same criticism as well, but N'Golo Kante for some reason was scapegoated, or not scapegoated, but relieved of that same criticism.
Okay, yeah, Jorginho was our top scorer one season, all right? Have some respect.
He was.
No, he had a great game. He had a great game today, by the way. But apparently attacks can't. No team can attack with Jorginho.
Yeah.
What it is.
Not even the great Newcastle. I was gonna say with a midfield as well, Marshall. Overall, if your midfielders like help you win the midfield battle, I think that's like one of the most important things.
That's important.
And that's what Kovacic does. He helps you win the midfield battle. Same as Jorginho. Jorginho helps you win the midfield battle by controlling the game or the possession, and then basically you can create chances. And that is the way how Jorginho defends as well. He keeps basically keep possession of the ball, and you won't need to run around like a headless chicken. As simple
Here's
as
the
that.
thing, Turf. There's always another KDB in Gundogan. You just need to find it. We should not settle till time we find what we need. Man City is benchmark, not that we have it each that level we have to beat. Okay, there's always another KDB and a Gundogan. Okay, name them. Where are the other KDBs and the Gundogans?
I think he's talking about if you have to scout really in
you
detail.
You do have to scout, but if it was that easy to find the diamonds in the rough, why don't more teams do it? Why did it take till now? For actually, how many goal scoring center midfielders are there out there? There's really not that many.
I say Gundogan.
I mean, in the Premier League, you have KDB, you have Odegaard.
Odegaard's a good one.
Odegaard,
he was at Real Madrid, so he was a bit more easy to identify than others. So you have them two.
Even Modric isn't a goal scoring CM. He can do it. But he hasn't been that since.
No, Modric actually doesn't get a high GA average season every season.
Well, we don't get on Modric for that.
Of course not. And I would never compare say they're the same level, Kovacic and Modric, because they're not. Modric is a level ahead, but they are.
McAllister's a good shout. McAllister's a good shout. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Szoboszlai, I think it's too young. Szoboszlai, I think it's too soon for him. And Pellegrini. I don't think Pellegrini has that much output either, but he's a good box to box.
Well, Pellegrini from Roma, right?
Mm-hmm. I believe so.
I don't know what his output is, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he has that much GA either. So that's what I mean. I think we need to separate attacking midfielders from a midfielder. And Kovacic, someone in the fucking comments said this to me a long time ago. Kovacic is not an attacking midfielder. So let's stop rating him and criticizing him like he is.
I mean, he used to be an attacking midfielder, but that was 10 years ago at Inter Milan. He is well removed from that. Ever since then, he's been playing as an 8 or as a 6 in a double pivot. So we are far removed from seeing Kovacic as some sort of advanced playmaker.
But again, David, this is what I mean, man. And then we'll end it on this, and then we'll move on. But Modric will score when he's in goal scoring positions. Our midfield brain dead in goals. Okay, that's fine. But if you have to rely on Modric to be in a goal-scoring position to score you goals, then there's something wrong with your system. You shouldn't have to rely on Modric to get you goals in goal-scoring positions. That should be an attacker in that goal-scoring position.
The thing is as well, Modric will be in the goal-scoring position, 1 in 1,000, because he's got Benzema in the goal-scoring position.
That's what
he's
I
got
mean.
Vinicius in the goal.
Kovacic is an 8. Sorry.
But he's got Benzema in the position. He's got Vinicius in the position. He's got Rodrigo, Valverde. They're all there. They're all ready to do it. So it's just highlighted because we have poor attackers, and the one chance in the game will fall to him, and he'll miss it.
And I guarantee you guys,
let's give Kai Havertz another chance.
Mark my words right now. Kovacic is going to leave. Kante might stay. Whatever. 2 seasons from now, I'm going to say, we're going to be having the same discussion, probably, hopefully not. But if we don't get our attack situation fixed, we're probably going to have the same discussion about Enzo in 2 seasons. Oh, Enzo doesn't score enough. Enzo doesn't get enough assists. Why Enzo? He's an attacking midfield. If he's not attacking midfield, he's not a DM. What is he like? It's going to be the same thing. So I think midfielder, just change the way you criticize a midfielder. I think when it comes to being a box-to-box and number 8, you got to criticize the passing ability, the tackling ability, the endurance, the playmaking. That's like the stats you really want to look at.
I mean, the only other thing I'll say on Kovacic is that, it's kind of a double-edged sword because on the one hand, yes, our attackers will miss the chances he creates, but on the other hand, there are some terrible moments of his where he
of course. Makes bad decisions. We saw it with Arsenal.
Yeah, so you just got to have that balance, really, in the analysis.
100%. I agree. All right. Next topic we're going to discuss is certain player that probably is on his way out of the club, but there is a bottleneck, which is the salary. So, Nazar Kinsella reporting here. Ruben Loftus-Cheek I know, it's such a creepy picture. Ruben Loftus-Cheek will be forced to take a pay cut to facilitate potential move from Chelsea to AC Milan this summer, but he remains reluctant to leave his boyhood club, and despite having only 1 year left on his contract. This is from Nazar Kinsella. I don't know how to solve this one, to be honest.
Sell him.
Yeah,
good profit, 20 million.
Did you not see what I just read there? Like,
honestly,
do a pay cut.
No, yeah, but honestly, his faces just took me out of the words. Like, I can't lie. That face is kind of like, why this?
I almost want to make an emoji out of this one.
I don't know. Ask Chelsea Dodger. I don't know.
he did that on purpose, man. They threw me off the words.
Yeah. He doesn't want to leave because he's getting that money. That's the face of someone making that money. He knows what he's doing. He's scheming.
And hey, listen. At the end of the day, fair play to him. I mean, it was our fault for giving. It was our fault for giving him a 150k contract after an Achilles injury. But
wait, he got 150. I thought,
Yeah. So what happened was he got his Achilles injury, and then he signed the contract extension after that when Lampard was in the job. So. That was back when the fans were ready to riot if Cho or Ruben left the club, and here we are now.
Yeah, no wonder he's smiling, man. No wonder he's literally sits on the bench most of the time, warming that bench just to have 150k.
At the end of the day, it's up to him, and it's up to whoever the new manager is. If the new manager wants to use him, then from there it's just between him and the club. If whether they want to extend him or not. If they want to sell him, and if the new manager is in agreement, then it's up to Ruben. If Ruben wants to play, then he'll take a pay cut and leave. If he's content to make his money and sit on the bench, then he'll do that. But there's no criticism there. That's completely up to him. It's his life, so just let him live it. Let him make his choices.
And to be honest, I don't think he's given up. I think he's just
no.
I think I said this prior. I think he's content where he is at the club, not only because of the money. I'm sure that's a factor, obviously, right? But
probably 70% reason.
I think he wants to play that like Mikel role, where like Mikel came in as a sub and always did a job, and that's kind of like what Ruben's been doing lately. He comes in as a sub, he does a job. Sometimes he starts. It's 50-50, maybe 75-25. I don't know. 25% of the time he plays a fucking horrendous performance, but for the most part he plays a good performance. He puts on a shift, nothing spectacular, nothing outstanding, but he gets the job done.
I mean, he was pretty good. He's pretty good. What was it? Yesterday against Bournemouth. I mean, he came on. Lampard actually one of the things Lampard's done right in this time here. He put him in his actual position. He put him as that left number 8, and I believe he was involved in the build-up for the Felix goal. I think he threaded the ball into Sterling.
A pre-assist.
Yeah, you got the pre-assist for Sterling, to Felix. So There's definitely a use for him. Like I'm not, no one's ever said he's a bad player. He's just never going to be at the level to start. And
I think it's. Go ahead, Oliver. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No. I kind of said what I said. Go on.
I was just going to say, I think it's very possible that he renegotiates a contract with a more incentive this time. I think it's possible he's willing to accept it. Because I agree with David here. I think he's more than happy to stay at Chelsea, no matter the means.
And we shouldn't ignore that. There are so many players at Chelsea that there are so many players at Chelsea that don't want to be here. So the ones that do, we should respect that. It's not a matter of get out of my club. It's a matter of this just isn't going to work. But if everyone agrees, if the owners want to keep him, if the manager wants to keep him, if he wants to stay, he clearly does want to stay. Get it done because he's not a bad player. Yeah,
he's not a bad player. He hasn't really done much wrong at the club. If he's willing to take a little bit of a pay cut or restructure his salary to more of an incentivized one, that he could make more money off of it, or he could remain at the same or less of a salary. I think you should reward the players that do want to stay and they really want to be here. If that's their dream, if that's what they want to do, I think reward it. Why not? But yeah, Ruben Loftus-Cheek. We'll see what happens if he goes to AC Milan. Good for him. He'll be there with Fikayo Tomori cooking. If not, if he stays, then good for him as well. Either way, it works out for Chelsea. Let's go ahead to the next topic. Carney, the man that has gone missing ever since Frank Lampard has taken over. Arguably also while Potter was here. So I understand Chelsea would consider sending Carney Chukwuemeka out on loan next season. This is coming from Bobby Vincent. I think you have to do it. You have to do it. It has to get done. He hasn't played enough. I don't think he's going to be getting much play time over the likes of any of our midfielders or even like Nkuku's, because Carney likes that number 10 position, right?
He's a 10/8.
Okay.
Like
Carney.
Carney, yeah. He can play some up in the wing as well and whatever, but alone is the only option. If he wants to maybe improve his game and everything, it's gotta be alone because you ain't gonna get that game time at Chelsea. And let's face it,
it's competition here. It's stiff competition, man.
And let's face it, we don't have as many competitions as we do next season. Yeah. We literally have the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup and the Premier League. We literally are most of the time gonna be one game a week. So a lot of players are gonna need to go, and he just has to learn. I think there was a bit of a promise of this kid. He's actually looked good when he came on or even started. There's a load of promise I see, but yeah, he has to have a loan. He's not gonna get any development at Chelsea. There's no way.
He definitely needs to develop his end game for sure. I think there have been many moments where we see Carney, and we saw it against the Liverpool game. It's very prominent there. I think that may have been the last time we saw Carney against Liverpool.
I can't remember his last game.
Yeah, I don't remember. Anyone in chat
know? It probably was that game, but if we're gonna hold, how old is he? 19.
He's 19. 19.
Yeah.
If we're gonna hold a 19-year-old, attacking midfielder who had only 5 appearances for the Aston Villa first team, if we're gonna hold him to a standard of you can't finish, then by that standard, no one should be starting for this team.
Just saying.
True, our defenders can finish.
That's not what I was gonna. That's not what I was gonna get at. What I was gonna get at is that I think you see the potential for this player to be good and get himself in dangerous spots, make opportunities happen as well, because he has made some chances in the time that he has played. Obviously, the finishing is not there, but I don't expect it to be there at 19. I think there's developing to be happening there, and I think we should keep this player. I think he will become a very good player. So yeah, I think alone, and if he agrees to it, then by all means, please, Carney, stay with Chelsea, please. Go on alone, develop your football, become a better footballer and a more established player in a starting 11. And I think Chelsea, there's going to be room in that midfield, man. I think we will have some room in the midfield very soon. We'll see.
I think the most frustrating thing for Carney is, well, not even for Carney, but this is really for the club as well. like players that could be coming to this club will look at this situation. It is just such a bad advert for this process, this project, whatever you want to call it, the way that the owners want to try and go for youth. Any player can just look at Carney, who came in for a fee, a significant fee. He would have been promised some sort of opportunity off the bench or some sort of game time. Otherwise he wouldn't have joined. It's literally what he has done at Chelsea has been no different to what he was doing at Aston Villa. So, why would he leave there to only have the same thing happen? So, it just sucks from that aspect. We just have to hope that players that are looking at coming here don't look at that situation, because the fact is that this is out there in the world now. He's clearly, from what Darko's been saying, he's not happy with the situation. So, we just need to kind of fix up and get him out on loan, because I don't think it's not realistic that he's going to play next season. I mean, he'd be playing behind Nkunku, and that's if we sell Havertz and if we don't loan Felix. There's just no room for him. Like it's a shame, but we just need to manage situations better next time, because the more that this happens with other players, then we won't be able to get the best youth in the world. It's also a
result of having that bloated squad.
I mean,
that's a big part of it.
I mean, maybe. For me, it's just more the result of not having a manager that's
that's
going to be. Not having a manager that's willing to stamp his foot down and look at other players and say, okay, you're bad, in comes Carney. Like we saw it under Potter. Mount should have come out of the team so many times for Carney, and it never happened. It rarely happened off the bench, and it didn't really happen at all in terms of the starting lineup, except for one cup game, and that's a cup game. He kind of, if he's not starting in that, then what are we doing?
Yeah, exactly. I think that's a very good point. Yeah, it's even in games you expect him to start where things don't really matter. Even now. Like I'd be well, not surprised. I kind of expect it, but next game should be totally open for him to play.
Well, we mentioned this in yesterday's stream. The opportunity is gone because he's going with England to the under-20s.
Oh, true. That's right. That was him.
So his domestic season's over, and
yeah,
it's a shame. It's been a complete waste of his.
I hope he cooks. I hope he cooks in the World Cup, man.
Oh, he probably will. He is he's a good player at that level. I think in the last tournament he won the player of the tournament.
Yo, and boys, another thing we forgot to mention when it comes to Carney is Andre Santos. Where does he factor in all that as well?
I don't know. I mean, his loan at Vasco da Gama ends. His loan at Vasco ends in the summer, so he comes back in the summer. Whether he goes out on loan again, we'll have to wait and see. Kind of just.
There's tough competition for the kid, so he's gotta develop his football. So I think definitely go out on loan. Hopefully, a team that starts him, and he can play get minutes under his feet, and get that experience that he needs in the Prem.
Let's let the new manager have a look at him, and and unlike what we did with Carney, let's actually have a plan for him. If he's going on loan, let's have a plan for where he needs to go and how he needs to develop at that club. If he's gonna stay at the club, then have a plan for how he's gonna be included.
Sure. Okay. Next thing I want to talk about, guys, is the goalkeeper situation and how this seems to be more and more likely to happen. Chelsea are expected to sell Edouard Mendy, while any bids for Kepa Arrizabalaga are likely to be considered. This is coming from Matt Law earlier this week, and then another tweet right here from Matt Law. Chelsea are trying to maneuver themselves into a pole position to sign goalkeeper Andre Onana from Inter Milan this summer and remain confident on concluding a deal. So we talked about Raya. We talked about the other goalkeeper from
Valencia.
Valencia. Thank you. And now Onana. And it seems now that Onana is coming out as a prominent goalkeeper that we're going to be going for. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. I think he is going to be better than Mendy and Kepa. Is he the world-class keeper that I want? How old is Onana? Actually, I should check that. How old is Andre Onana? Are you pulling it up already?
He is 27.
27. How old was Mendy when we got him?
He joined in 2020. He's 30 now, so about the same age. Yeah.
Is this guy worth getting? I don't know.
I mean, do you want Mike Maignan, Marshall?
I'd rather Maignan. I think he'd probably be the better choice.
Because he's 27 as well. Yeah.
Oh, he's the same age. Yeah.
I mean, I don't think age matters because goalkeepers can go into their 30s.
Yeah. Sure.
It's not a problem. We just at this point we just have to look for the key attributes. They need to be good at shot stopping, good at commanding the box, good with the ball at their feet. That's what we really need to be looking at. The age doesn't really factor in unless they're literally like 39 and they're about to retire, which we're not looking at. So I don't think it's a huge problem.
Chris, what do you think about Onana, man?
We do need to get a new keeper. Obviously, like Mendy's like, I don't know what's happened to Mendy. Mendy's just fell off a cliff, and wait, where's Mendy gone? I don't know. Like
AFCON.
AFCON
changed everything.
Literally, he fell off somewhere, and we just lost him. Like he's gone.
He fell off, and he's had injuries.
How is he getting injuries? He's never playing.
I mean, he had a surgery on his. On his
hand,
like that.
Yeah.
I think it was
a while ago.
Yeah.
But what? He picked up another injury after that. What did he do?
No, he's just benched.
He's been on the bench. Yeah. So Lampard is Lampard's just preferring Kepa right now. That's all it is.
And Lampard actually preferred Mendy at first when he came though. So
yeah, but look at Kepa. Look at Kepa before that.
Yeah, Kepa was shocking, and now Kepa is like he's been a solid keeper this year, but.
Yeah,
I think obviously Mendy's not actually on a high wage, but Kepa is actually on a super high wage, 150k a week.
I mean,
so
that's the problem though. Mendy wants parity with those wages, and
would Onana want like somewhat of a wage like Kepa's though?
I don't know. I mean, I hope not. And personally, if anyone wants to come for that wage, then no. Like just
unless you're a really good keeper, like a solid keeper,
unless you're Mike Maignan. No.
Again, why don't we go for him? He's had a really good season, hasn't he?
I have no idea.
It costs a lot of money.
I think with him, with Onana, I think it's possible to give him a deal similar to Kepa's, but it would be structured with incentives.
Yeah, probably like clean sheets.
I think that, clean sheet bonus, save bonus, stuff like that. Champions League bonus, all that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think this guy hasn't been. I don't understand why we don't go for Martinez if we're just gonna go for a good keeper.
Might as well go for Martinez. Is he old?
Onana's 27.
27.
I'd rather Onana because purely on age reasons. Like
Martinez is what 31.
31, and Martinez. I do like Martinez's personality a bit. Like
30,
he's got. Yeah,
he's an amazing penalty stopper. Probably the best in the world when it comes to saving penalties.
I would say he's better than Kepa at penalty saves, but
the thing is, a lot of the penalty thing is due to mind games, but I think they've actually now added new rules that means that they can't go up to the player beforehand.
Such a weak mentality move by the FIFA or Premier League. Like, why are they making it hard for keepers? No, but I actually get annoyed with it. Why are they making it hard for keepers to not save? Why can't they do mind games? Why can't they say shit? Why can't they do that? I feel so sorry for keepers. Like they can't do that.
Emiliano, please refer to him to his proper pronouns, please. Just like stuff like that. Oh my god, no, that's such a stupid rule.
But I'm sure maybe I don't know if the chat agrees or anything, but like doing that, chatting shit is part of the penalty saves. Like you can say whatever you want. As long as they're not going off their line and all that, then fair game. It's just such a weak move from whoever decide I think they can't say nothing bad to the penalty. They say that you're not gonna miss or you're gonna go that way, you're gonna go over in that corner. You can't say that. You gotta be quiet and just do your game. Nah, I don't like that.
I don't like it either. I think that's a very silly rule, which, all right, it is what it is. But, hey, Onana might be coming. He's not a bad keeper. He's definitely going to be an upgrade on Mendy or Kepa. But is he the world-class keeper that's going to be at Chelsea for years to come, future Hall of Famer like Petr Cech? I don't think he's the guy. So we'll see. By the way...
All I'll say on Onana is that, I've watched some videos of this guy. Get ready to have some heart attacks when he's sweeping outside of his box. He's not bad at it, but he will try some mad things. So just
Like Edison.
Just have 999 pre-dialed on your phone when this guy runs out of the box.
9/11 if you're in the United States.
Yeah.
But nearly 70 of you guys watching, by the way, if you haven't done so already, be sure to smash that like button and do consider becoming a member of the Casually FC. Be one of the casuals. You get to play with some of the cool emojis that we just got and unlocked. So yeah, the more of you guys join, the more perks I can give you guys back through membership as well. So that being said, now I did the admin, get that out of the way. Let's move on to some transfers that may be coming into the club. So let's talk about Ivan Toney. Chelsea want Ivan Toney, and it's looking like the rumors are more and more solidified as we go. I've been told now by multiple sources again this weekend by my best source that Chelsea really want to sign Ivan Toney. They're waiting for the conclusion of the betting investigation by the FA. Now,
He pleaded guilty.
He pleaded. Yeah, I think he has to. I mean,
I think we're waiting for the what the punishment will be.
Well, they usually, I think in the UK, I don't know if it's similar in the United States, or it's similar to the US rather. I think in the US, they give you a plea deal. So if you plead guilty, we'll give you less time and this will be a lot easier and you pay this fine or whatever.
That's the same in terms of UK law. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's the same in terms of this investigation. I don't know about that, but it's the same case in terms of like the UK justice system, definitely.
How bored was he to do? Was it like over 200 bets?
I mean,
I just think it's
wow.
It must have been over
stuff, you know.
It must have been over a few years. I can't see that being like in
like
6 months or anything, like
He's been on a decent probably wage at Brighton, Brentford. I would take this guy, even if we have to wait a year. You know what we do? Yeah, say he has a year contract, not a year contract, a year ban, or like 6 months to a year. Yeah, between there, right? Say we buy him whatever price, like 60 million, 50 million. We bring in Lukaku. Just have Lukaku to hold the fort, yeah. And he can score his goals because Lukaku can score goals. We have Nkunku. If we have João Felix, I don't know. Hopefully Kai Havertz is gone. He was saying goodbye. But yeah, we have Lukaku come back just to hold a fort for Ivan Toney. Then we just have a little plaster over Chelsea's striker position until Ivan Toney.
Oh, you beat me to it, Marshall.
What? It's not bad. No, I actually see bad take. It's not a bad. Like, how is that a bad take? Really?
All right, hold on. Okay, let me move on to the next topic because it's related to this.
All right.
Romback. Okay, I need to talk to you about this, Chris. We need to have this discussion. I'm interested. I want to hear your perspective. Okay, so Chelsea will bring back Romelu Lukaku, although his future is dependent on who becomes the Blues' next manager. But the club are still looking at strikers and want to bring in either a premium number 9 or a promising one. This is coming from Miguel Delaney. Not tier 1, but still a source. Listen, I'm of the mindset, and I could be wrong, and I could be proven wrong. And chat, be more than willing to engage in this. And you know what? Actually, chat, I'm gonna give you a poll. Okay, this is what the poll's gonna be. Would you rather have no striker, which is what we have right now, or
send Lukaku to Brentford,
bring back R9?
Yeah, tell Rom.
That's the poll. That's the poll. I want to see what the chat has to say. R9 is going to be the option.
Why is he so like hated? Like he said a bad few words. Boo hoo.
He doesn't fit what we're trying to do.
What are we trying to do?
Okay, let's assume Poch, right? Let's assume we're getting Poch.
Poch
wants to press. Can Lukaku do
that? He can try.
Trying's not good enough.
But like, I see this whole Chelsea team, they don't press. That most of them.
No, that's because you've got Lampard. Lampard can't coach press.
We had like 2 managers this season, or 3 managers, or whatever you want to call it, this season, and this attack this season hasn't been really pressing. Like, they've been lazy. So But I'm okay. This is what I'm thinking though. So what? We sign Ivan Toney, right? Say we sign Ivan Toney. We
Cool.
buy him now, and he's banned for like a year or 8 months or whatever it is. Yeah, like
Yep.
I don't know how long it's gonna be, but he gets the ban. So we just go wait with like who we go wait and strike then, because like we're not gonna sign another striker then, right?
I would argue that we're better off just not having a striker
Nah.
in that time. Like I know like okay, this is bad no matter how you look at it, guys, so I'm sorry. I'd rather just keep persisting with Kai Havertz or see what happens with Fofana or Armando Broja than to bring back Romelu Lukaku.
You want to keep Kai Havertz, who has like 43 games, right? And 9 goals, all competitions. But Lukaku, yeah, and I think Kai Havertz has got 1 assist, yeah, I could be correct, yeah. And Lukaku has 29 games, yeah, with 10 goals and
Your
5
timing is
assists.
Immaculate.
5 assists, yeah, like
Batman Chris.
Yes.
no, but like as a guy who brings. This how fan base cries about Kovacic not bringing enough GA. This Lukaku brings way more GA and Kai Havertz and most of them. So I say fuck it, have him back.
I think like I agree with you that yes, Lukaku can bring goals and all that, but I just feel that when he is playing on that pitch, he makes our attackers worse.
How? Our attackers shit.
I think he's gonna bring down the game of Mudryk, of Madueke. We kind of saw it happen last season.
We can't link up with them.
Oh, but this season
It doesn't link up.
But this season we've been better, right? We've been better attack this season, right?
I mean, it's not good.
It's worse. We literally have Gallagher get goal of the month, yeah.
But Chris, we had Tuchel back then, though.
Oh, but Tuchel, like we still create chances with Potter, and we still didn't score goals. Like I just want a guy who will score goals. I'm just sick of like Kai Havertz he literally gets less assists this season, and Lukaku, who's had a big injury, right, and had way less games, and Lukaku has way better GA in him, like minutes per game. So I don't know why we don't want that. And he's patently bad. Like he's better than Kai Havertz. He's better than
mind you, just to clarify with everyone watching. Chris isn't necessarily saying he wants Lukaku back. If we can get another striker, he would take another striker. But in the case that we do get Ivan Toney or we can't find another striker, last ditch scenario, he would go for Lukaku.
It's because
I would rather not.
It's because if we sign Ivan Toney, we're not going to sign another striker. So just bring back Lukaku, who's already our player. Like we're not probably going to get. If we can sell Lukaku, for example, as well for 40-50 million to Inter or whoever, then yeah, fine, take it. Whatever.
Not Inter. They won't.
I know they don't have the money. I'm just saying.
Give me someone else.
But if there's no actual club who can really offer the money, we can really. If it's like 20 million, now shut up. Like we're keeping Lukaku. I want to keep Lukaku unless it's 40-50 million, and then we get Ivan Toney when he gets his ban lifted. If we sign Ivan Toney, this all happens. And let's not. We just sign a different striker.
God damn you, Turf.
The key thing with Lukaku for me is that above all else, you can say what you want about his abilities, about his lack of abilities in certain areas. He doesn't want to be here, and Lukaku does not want to be at Chelsea. You know, he wants to be in Milan, and he can't do that, so he'll probably want to be somewhere else. And you know, yeah.
Are you trolling, God of Frogs? I can't tell if he's trolling.
That's stronger than me, man.
I was going to say as well with the you know, we've all seen the reports this season. You know, the dressing room is a rot right now. Yeah. So why are we going to willingly reintroduce a player that doesn't want to be here, that only keeps those negative feelings rolling in the dressing room? You know, when we're already trying to clear out people that either you know.
What's that? Maybe we like Lukaku comes here. He wants to prove us something, like a point, like he isn't done or whatever. I don't know. Like
I doubt it.
That was the motivation last time, and look what happened.
He still did all his attackers.
The voting is kind of neck and neck, but 19 people voted so far, and most of them are saying no striker.
Oh right. Yeah, no striker. Let's think of
stick
Kai
with- yeah.
Havertz, who gets like a goal per month or whatever, or doesn't score like for a good while, and then he has this purple patch, and we go, yes, Kai Havertz is hitting the numbers now. And
I mean, listen, if it's not Kai Havertz, I wouldn't mind it being Broja or Dacho Fofana, just to give it a shot as a placeholder.
I think Broja needs a loan after such a
Broja
serious
might need a
injury.
loan after the serious knee injury.
I don't
sure.
think Broja's that
Fofana
good.
should be given time.
Broja's had
I don't
little
know.
moments where he's looked decent, but he's not the guy to like lead our front line either.
Yeah, he's still very raw, and the injury is going to be a massive setback as well. So we're kind of unclear on where he'll be, what space he'll be in.
Is Andrew saying something?
I was debating.
Andrew, go for it, bro.
Chris, I hate you. With every fight.
Hate me?
I was watching
no.
the show. I'm not feeling too well, and then you started mentioning bringing Lukaku back, and I had a violent rage. So I had to.
I brought back the fight in you.
I had to jump on. I want to do this right. When we do, not just us, when Chelsea fans do transfers stories, they limit themselves on their imagination about what they can get, or why, we can't get this player because we have to get that player. Why don't we get them both, or something like that? Or open your mind to getting both. I would like to open our minds to how many players we can get rid of. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Like not have to sacrifice or compromise. If I'd rather keep this guy if we're going to take this guy back. No, let's get rid of them all. Let's get rid of them all. Let's get rid of Havertz. Yeah. Let's get rid of Lukaku. Let's get rid of them all. Do you know what I mean? Let's go. Let's do the season with Nkuku and Felix just up front. Remember the 13-14 season when we just had a broken down Torres and old man Eto'o up front who barely scored? Do you know what I mean? Before we got Costa the following season. Do you know what I mean? Might have to do something like that. On a serious note, I don't think Lukaku wants to come back. I would listen. I said this yesterday, right? We're linked with Onana, right? Yeah.
Sure.
Their goalkeeper. I'd work Lukaku into that deal. I'd say that, or I'd go take him on loan. We'll pay half his wages for the next 2 years, the remainder of his contract, whatever. Do you know what I mean? We'll do that because the reason the loan fee was so small last summer was because they're paying all his wages. We're not paying any of his wages, so they're not on our books this year, but they will be coming back when the loan period expires. I do agree with Chris on one thing. I'd take Ivan Toney even with a van. I'd take him, secure him like that, no matter what the ban is. I'd take him, bring someone else in, or whatever, go like do the Nkuku and João Felix on a loan thing or something like that I read last week. They want to take João on another loan or something like that because they realise paying 85 million for him is probably not the right thing to do. Just go forward like that. That's what I would do.
So,
that does make sense as well because like João Felix does look a lot better and Kai Havertz. He's definitely hit a woodwork a lot this season. Like, he's had a lot of close chances and just not put away. But you saw like even the last game, Kai Havertz was like non-existent. He was invisible. And João Felix, how many minutes did he have? Like 10, 15 minutes, or I forgot.
Probably
20
less.
maybe. Less, yeah. And he got in there and he pulled it in. So. I would definitely, and João Felix has like been here for like 6 months, and I'd rather that and get rid of Kai Havertz for 50 million as well. Like, I reckon there's a market where we can get Kai Havertz for like 40, 50 million somewhere, like maybe in Germany for Bayern Munich or something, because they haven't really got a striker.
No, they're interested. I mean, he's not a striker, first of all, and their interest they had interest, but it's now died down. I think that's the reports that have come out in the last few months. So it would have to be somewhere else.
Who knows? It could go. It could be Leverkusen, a return to Leverkusen. It could maybe Leipzig. Oh, who knows? Who knows? But thing is, it's a hard situation, and I think even our chat can agree. Like it's 50-50. Either we go with Romelu or we go with no striker. I think in an ideal world, I think we get Ivan Toney, and maybe Fofana or whatever step up in the meanwhile. Maybe it's not that long of a suspension. Or maybe we don't even get Ivan Toney. We go for another striker that suits the system better, depending on what Pochettino wants. Who knows? Who knows? But That was a great discussion, Chris. I appreciate you defending yourself on that. Big up to you,
Right.
man. Even though I think it was stinky tape, but it's
I
okay.
have my reasons.
Hey, man, we get it. But all right, let's go on to the next topic, which is Lamps having a little say about his role as an interim manager. Lampard, Fabrizio Romano reporting. I'm happy here, but I don't want to be an interim manager in my next job. I haven't got regrets. When I come back here, I certainly took it on with a lot of heart and understanding that it was a short term. But I don't want to be an interim manager again. I don't know. I don't know if he's really in this position to really be asking for much. We were talking about this backstage, Oliver, but
yeah. He's saying my next job as if he's going to get offered a job. I mean, he probably will get offered a job because
probably it's Frank Lampard. Yeah,
name value. As much as we have many examples of it not working, there is going to be some stupid club, whether that be in the Premier League, whether that be in the Championship, whether that be in League One. Someone will offer this guy a job, but it's just slightly arrogant to say my next job. Like let's wait and see first for you to get some offers.
Maybe he can manage Wrexham or something.
Why don't you go complete your badges?
Yeah.
True.
He could learn something, maybe, Andrew. He might learn something.
Yeah, you should have done that. If you haven't learned anything.
He's so arrogant. He thinks he can just walk into a job.
I can't believe he's got the well, I can actually. But it makes no sense that he thinks he's in line for another job. I know nepotism is ripe in the English game. That's how he got his jobs in the first place. But honest to God, I mean, whoever takes him on, obviously you are not looking for success. But that's true. They're probably right.
Yeah.
They probably know that I can do it better.
I really think he has to go to a lower league division somewhere and work his way up. He has to work his way up. He can't be taking.
Like Potter did.
Yeah. Do something. Even though it didn't work out for him, Gerrard did the right thing, I would say, in starting at the Scottish League and then working his way to, the Prem. It didn't work out in the Prem, obviously. So, but
awful manager too.
Earn your badges. And yeah, he was a terrible manager as well. But it is what it is.
He was holding Aston Villa back so much.
If the case is that no one wanted the interim job at Chelsea and Lampard was willing to take it, then kudos to Lampard. Fine. Thank you.
I think that's what it was.
You finally got us out of the relegation era. It took a while, but you got us out of relegation danger. Just set everything up for Pochettino, please. That's all I ask.
Go on. It's part that, but it's also part him trying to rebuild his reputation after the Everton job. Him coming into this Chelsea job will basically mean that, okay, if I do badly, then, well, the season's been bad anyway. It's the players' fault. That's the way a lot of the media will look at it, and that's the way they have analysed it. A lot of people are saying, oh, well, the players are bad anyway. They've been bad all season. They're bad for Potter, Tuchel, Lampard, Saltor, etc. So it's part, I will believe that he obviously likes the club and that's a reason to come back, but there's also that aspect of trying to rebuild his reputation, and we can even see it with the decision making that he's making. Primarily with him starting, not necessarily like more leaving out some of the younger players like Mudryk and Chukwuemeka. He's trusting those experienced players to go for the results.
No, and yeah, I agree. You definitely see it. We'll see what happens with Lampard after this. I think he should call it quits and just get to punditry. We liked him as a pundit. He was a great pundit.
No,
I think just stick with that.
I would need a full year
of not seeing him.
Of not hearing him or seeing him. Just to go, yep. That's just to get out of the system. That's all.
I like listening to Lampard. I can't lie.
That's because you're a sadomasochist.
Not post match after a loss. I don't like that at all.
Yeah.
Well, no one really likes unless you're Jose Mourinho, who just gets.
Oh, by the way, Chris, you were right. That article was from the press conference. He told the lads they should celebrate with a beer or something.
Yeah,
there you go.
Proper Sunday League.
What is it?
Super
this
Frank.
guy from like what What is celebrate?
They could do a cold beer, man. Come on.
Yeah, sure.
They've had a hard season.
It's pretty difficult for Kante, isn't it? Right?
Yeah, it's pretty difficult for some of those most
True.
of those players. Yeah,
Kai
Kante,
Havertz has been through
Koulibaly,
enough.
you know, something like that, yeah.
Kai Havertz needs to get drunk, like forget how bad his
He plays
performance
like
are.
he's drunk. Man.
Yeah, he does play like he's drunk. Actually, to be fair,
No.
On Saturday, he definitely was drunk. He was lost. He was like, he wasn't sure where we was going, up or down. He was like thinking, "Yep, like I've run over here, I've run over there," and just not getting any involvement really.
all right. Next topic I do want to discuss is there's been some comments from a few I guess news outlets as well as Raheem Sterling on the ownership, and I haven't listened to all of it yet, and I do want to listen to it with you guys and kind of get our takes on it as well. So we'll start off with
questions at the end.
we'll start off with Gab Marcotti. The quote here is, every time he opens his mouth, you know how he sounds. He doesn't sound great, and it doesn't look it's not a great look. I don't know if he's getting poor advice when he speaks. And here's a full video down here. We'll go ahead. Oh my God, I didn't see that. I did not see that.
We know that's hate.
Chelsea Dodgers, you fraud! You fraud, Chelsea
You've
Dodgers.
been found out, Marshall. You're a fraud.
Oh my God.
You know, Johnny's got some hateful comments on that. Then
Probably.
Oh, sure.
We'll see.
If you click on Johnny's name there, it will
Big
take
up,
you to
Richie
the
boy.
post.
And the rest of the time.
will it?
Let's go ahead and see what Marcotti has to say.
It's funny, right?
Oh, by the way, this is in reaction to him doing that press conference with Bloomberg TV where he was asked about the struggles with Chelsea and all that. So this comes after that as well, just to give context, guys.
Because, he doesn't really give press conferences, speak to the media here. What he likes to do is he likes to go and appear at these business conferences, I think he had a Bloomberg one earlier this year. Now this one, he's with Michael Milken, of all people. And he rattles off a bunch of Captain Obvious type stuff. Oh, look, it's a global market and we're in it for the long haul. What is he going to say? And we really want to win. Okay, sure. And then sometimes he always throws in a new nugget, right? So we've heard him talk about a novel idea of an all-star game in the Premier League. And this time he starts talking about the markets and, oh, look, they're all different markets. Oh, yeah, look, different countries have different markets. They have different leagues. They have different players playing in them. I mean, I don't know if it's a legacy or, where he comes from, Major League Baseball, where, of course, they do have players from Japan and Venezuela and whatever, but you don't actually go and acquire them the way you do in football. But, guess what? Hey, look, it's a different sport. And this idea that all these markets are so different, if anything, you speak to anybody who operates there, no, they're not. There's intermediaries and agents who operate across all these European markets. And, it's not like it's completely different buying a right back in Portugal as opposed to buying one in France. And guess what? You hire these recruitment specialists, Christopher Vivell and Win Stanley and Stewart. You hire these guys in January. They're the guys who spent the bulk of the $600 million precisely because they do this for a living and have done this for a living for a long time. So presumably they know how to do it. So no, it shouldn't be an obstacle. It shouldn't be an issue that they're all different markets, because even if you're learning about it and you're still wrapping your head around it, these guys do it for a living. So I don't know. I don't know why he chooses this, because then whatever he says gets taken out of context. And yeah, it's almost like every time he opens his mouth, he doesn't sound great. It's not a great look. I know he's getting poor advice when he speaks, but yeah, I think the last thing that he needs right now is, I'm glad he's there and not here, because, next Chelsea home game, if they don't win, you'll get more people singing Roman Abramovich's name.
I mean, he's not wrong. He's not wrong. I think there is a lot of things that Boehly has been saying lately that is very Captain Obvious, very yeah. And I think he hit the nail on the head, which is an issue that we've been having, which it looks like more and more is, more and more true, is not letting these guys that you hire do their job. You're mentioning struggling with all these markets and finding out all this and that, but you have recruiters that you hired, and some of the best in the world, mind you, and they should be doing this for you. There should be no issue because you hired people to do it. So to bring up that there's been an issue with, or to bring up that, oh, we're learning about the different Portuguese market and the French market and all this stuff, it's like you're kind of outing yourself.
No, I see. My thing is this, right? He has let them do their job. The bulk of the January transfer windows were not Todd's and Igbali's choices. Yeah,
Sure.
they were. Are you telling me that Todd Boehly and Igbali were scouting Datro Fofana?
No, he
Or
resigned.
anything about Fofana?
Badiashile.
He resigned as the sporting director by January.
Yeah, Badiashile, stuff like that. So they are letting them do
Madueke
their
as well.
jobs. How do we not know this whole thing? If Poch gets, they've interviewed Nagelsmann, they've interviewed Enrique, they've allowed them to do their jobs. Remember, it's their club. They have the final sign off. They don't have to do everything that these guys say, but they are open to listening to them. Maybe Poch is the ultimate thing that everyone's agreed with. Like all the new markets, I think God of Frogs put it in there. Well, it's new to them. They haven't owned a football club before.
Mm-hmm.
They're learning on the job as well. Do you know what I mean? Everyone keeps like Roman Abramovich, great as he was, didn't come in and know everything. Do you know what I mean? It took him a while. He brought people in like Peter Kenyon and that.
Yeah.
And and even then he was still letting other people run the club. So let's get serious with this. What did he expect him to say? Oh yeah, we've had a shit year. Yeah, we're really crap.
True.
We don't know
he is
going to
say positive things, obviously.
He's not going to say that, is he? Because
he's at a business conference, in front of peers and colleagues and all that. He's not going to out himself as, oh, I made mistakes here. No, he's going to give the diplomatic answer.
Mm-hmm. Which, by the way, I don't necessarily have too much of an issue with, for instance, like him going to a business conference and being asked this, as opposed to like him going in front of like paparazzi or journos and saying things like, oh, we're going to win 3-0 against Real Madrid kind of stuff.
Hang on, before he bought the club or when he bought the club, don't we have video of him at other things like this?
Like
even
I think
football. It's like, what's the difference? Now he just
I just think like people expect him to be like Roman in the sense of like Roman was quiet and stuff, but the thing is he's not like Roman. Roman didn't own. This is a different area. Roman owned his gas company.
Maybe they will. But maybe he will. They will eventually become like less and less thing. But
sure,
I don't know. It's like that. That was the criticism though of Roman as well, is that we didn't hear enough from him. Well. So that was a criticism as well, because the English press did not like that because he never gave an interview whatsoever.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And I get people are going to say like, oh, the Cronkies don't talk that much, or you don't hear anything from FSG. But like, I don't know if the Cronkies or FSG own like, I think Cronkies own another team. I don't remember what team.
Kroenke owns the Rams. He owns the Nuggets. His wife, his wife's family own Walmart.
He doesn't talk.
Like
I don't know.
Not that much, but I know Josh does. His son does. Yeah, son talks a lot.
Because I feel like when you're like a businessman like Boehly, you're going to be invited to all these press conferences to talk and discuss and do these, because I'm sure the majority of that presser wasn't about Chelsea. It was about
he just got asked a question by his colleague.
Yeah. So I'm not that upset about that interview. I don't like it when he comes out in front of a journalist and talking and saying things he doesn't really know what he's talking about.
I mean,
God of Frogs, I will say he owns a very small percentage of the Lakers and a very small percentage of the Dodgers. He doesn't own any of them outright. I mean, with the Lakers, it's like
similar to Chelsea, right? It's kind of like a consortium kind of thing.
I don't know. The Lakers,
I do have to do my research on that.
The Lakers, it's a very small percentage. Like he doesn't like run anything or anything like that. Maybe he attends meetings with these. And the Dodgers, it's like, is it 20% he owns of the Dodgers or something like that? So it's one of those. So
I'll probably find out for the next stream the numbers on that. I do have to do my research on it.
But with this, with the Boehly thing, I think the only thing I'll criticize really, and this is just like a tiny thing, it's just that he's not delivering us anything in terms of through the club mediums. He's like. I don't have a problem with him going to these presses and doing it, but we need to hear something from him or from the ownership consortium. We need to hear something from Chelsea, from them as Chelsea, because the fans are frustrated this season. We don't know what the direction is. We're confused by some of the decisions that they've made. There just needs to be more clarity and more openness. So you going to you saying this exclusively on a on a business conference and not through the club mediums, it just doesn't really come off the right way for me. I might be nitpicking. I don't know. That's just me.
No, I see where you're coming from. There is another comment too that I wanted to address, which is Raheem Sterling also discussing Boehly. And the quotes right here are, as a manager comes in, brings his blueprint, everyone follows. If people don't follow, they aren't part of the team. That's how brutal it needs to be at the high level. It's the fine lines, which I don't know what happened with Potter, exactly. Organization is bless you, by the way. Organization is the most important thing to be successful. Having a manager that has the final say on everything, he does everything his way, and everyone has to follow that. Successful teams always have that. I'm just curious what happened with Potter, but let's hear the interview. I think it's the same. I just want to hear him say it himself.
I said I'm not one to tell the club what to do, but I said from what I can gauge from where I was previously, I think organisation is the most important thing. Having a manager that has the final say on everything, he does everything his way, and everyone has to follow that. And I think successful teams always have that as a manager that comes in, brings his blueprint, and everyone follows. And if there's people that don't follow, they're not part of the team. And I think that's how brutal it needs to be at a high level, because it's the fine lines of winning or coming second or being in the position that we are now. So it's that everyone on the same page sort of thing. So that's not an advice, but that's from my experience. I said I'm not one to
That's the experience with Pep Guardiola, where he fully listened to him clearly. I see Pep Guardiola at the end of the games where Sterling scored a few goals and Pep was still mad what he did because he did certain things wrong, and he just sat down and listened. That's what it is. That's this experience.
Yeah,
There's a difference.
He is pretty much talking about, basically, he's talking about Pep there. And that's really the only problem I have with his analysis there. Like, the manager having the final say on everything, you don't get that privilege unless you're a Pep. Besides that, whoever we get in, if it's not a Pep level, it should be the sporting director that gets the final say on the transfers. That's why I do agree to an extent with, us walking away from Luis Enrique because, of the control over the transfers. That's the reason that we're in the situation we're in right now, partly because we let managers buy players for their systems. And, on top of that, there's also the thing with the lack of continuity. But, letting managers buy niche players, when you want to change it, it just doesn't work out. So, that's the only part I disagree with. But besides that, the organisation needs to be there, and he'd know what he's talking about. He's been at Man City. They're a very well organised club from top to bottom.
I mean, with Pep though, it's like the final say. It's like, when it comes to tactics and his team and who's playing for and something like that, I'm not sure he has final say on everything at Man City, even though the success he's had. I'm sure it's a working relationship when it comes to ins and out of the squad and stuff like that.
No, it definitely would be because, they built the recruitment team and got his old sporting director from Barcelona. So
because it's like I'm not sure, like when he's time at Barcelona, I very much doubt that he wanted to bring in Zlatan Ibrahimovic.
Don't think so.
Some players like that, and he was like forced to keep like Ronaldo and Henry and Eto'o for the first year or so on his books before he got rid of them. But the thing is, when it comes to the tactics, you're right. The problem is I have with those comments, and sorry, it's Raheem, it's you. If anyone said it, why weren't you guys following Potter's instructions then, or something like that? You know what I mean? Or Tuchel's.
I'm curious what happened with Potter.
What happened with Tuchel? If that's the thought, then why didn't you guys follow Potter's, follow Tuchel's? You know what I mean? Some of you guys before that followed Lampard the first time. Do you know what I mean? It's like that's great you saying it, but you ain't showing it. That's the problem. It's all word service.
Well, Marshall, with Potter, like if you believe what Darko was saying, it's pretty obvious what the dynamic was between Sterling and Potter. Like Sterling just wasn't interested in it
Played
at
him
all.
at wing back. That's
Yeah.
why he
I mean,
played him at wing back.
It kind of just seems
But
like
so did Tuchel.
no,
Now,
no,
one
not
game.
Sterling, not Sterling.
No, not Sterling. No.
He only ever played Sterling as
Played him
a
at
as a
false
like,
nine.
a false nine. Yeah,
Yeah, that was his best performances.
yeah.
I'm trying to think. I feel like there was third
No.
game of Sterling's. I'll look into it, but
I mean,
yeah, go on,
the
guys.
third game of Sterling's would have been the Leeds game 3-0. He plays as a false nine.
Okay, I'll believe you. I gotta look at it myself.
I know
could've
you're
sworn, but
thinking
yeah.
like Tuchel and like he played Cho and Pulisic there. He never played Sterling.
Yeah, yeah.
The players don't. Let's realize this, right? When you're a manager, you've got to bring something, especially to the big clubs. You've got to have some type of CV to gain respect, and that's Potter didn't have it.
No,
Potter
I
didn't
get
have
it.
You know what I mean?
Well, that's the thing. I think Sterling came here for Tuchel. You know, because Tuchel had that.
Well, I don't
season.
know I don't know, but maybe that was part of it. That's definitely part of it. When you're bringing in
There's a
manager,
factor. You could say.
definitely here. That's part of it. That's why you join. It's not 100%, obviously.
Or at the very least, he came for a manager of that caliber.
Yes, he came for that manager because he was going to be coached differently and stuff like that. But Potter is like you're walking in basically with a piece of paper that says I manage Brighton and I don't have anything else on my CV.
Swedish Cup.
Yeah, Swedish Cup. That's it. When it's like Swedish Cup. Some of our pre-season tournaments are high profile in Swedish Cup. Do you know what I mean? So it's like,
Yeah.
So on that note, on the manager, and we're gonna probably close it off on this last one because we do need to talk about the manager situation, what's going on with that. Almost 75 of you guys watching. Please smash that like button if you haven't done so already. Wipe your feet, wipe your feet before coming into the stream. And household stuff. Why not? And subscribe if you haven't done so already. We're on our way to 1,800 subscribers. So if you guys can help me out with that, I greatly
remaining.
appreciate it. We're only 13 away. Yeah, we're not too far from it. So you guys can be part of the historical 1,800 mark, and then 2K when we get there eventually. But yeah, big up to you guys in the chat who have been watching and enjoying the show, and hopefully you guys have been enjoying. So do smash that like button for me, please. Okay. Last topic. Who, what, and where is the next Chelsea manager? No, calm down, okay? Let's not, Chris. Come on. Then you're gonna, Andrew's already here. You don't have to say anything to trigger him to come in.
I'm going to say it's not going to be Kompany. He just signed an extension at Burnley, so the Kompany's
I'm so happy you mentioned that because this is what I have right here. We're delighted. Yeah, we're delighted to announce that the manager, Vincent Kompany, has signed a new contract to extend his commitment with the club.
So it's a 5-year extension, by the way.
We dodged a bullet on that one, guys. Well, maybe we didn't, but listen, I just didn't believe in Kompany being the next Chelsea guy. I think that job would have been way too big for him. Really think we should be going for someone like Poch. He's got the CV. I think he has the experience. We need someone who has some experience at the highest level of football.
I think Kompany has the character for it, but it's about the experience factor as well. Those two have to marry together well to make a manager of the level that we want. Kompany has the character, but the experience is 3 years in management, I think. So nowhere near good enough.
He started in Belgium, right?
He started he started at Anderlecht as a player manager.
Yeah. And then he moved to the Championship, right? Is that how it went?
Yeah.
I think he has a lot of maybe potential, but if we honestly signed this guy, I would have signed off this season. I would have checked out instantly because he is too inexperienced. More like we need someone like a Poch or who's had. I know I wanted as well. I didn't desperately want Nagelsmann, but I didn't mind having Nagelsmann. But he's had a fair amount of experience as a manager.
I didn't put this in the show, but recent news with Nagelsmann is apparently he's waiting. Tottenham is interested. He's waiting for Tottenham to decide who the next director of football is going to be. Right. And I'm over here like, bro, how much accommodation do you need before taking a job?
The director of football usually decides who the next manager is, not the manager who decides who the director of football.
Like this is kind of like giving me a bad rap from Nagelsmann. Like,
I think listen, that's fine if someone accepts that. I just think. Listen, if this was Leipzig, Nagelsmann, he wouldn't be getting this. With 18 months of Bayern Munich, it's put him on a
Munich gave him an ego.
His ego on another trip on another planet, and it's like that. I don't see how. You know what? Let him go to Spurs. Let's see how it works out, because Daniel Levy's very accommodating to put his man.
That's the other thing too. I was like, you're waiting for sporting director, but Daniel Levy's still there, right? Like, I don't think it's gonna make much of a difference, pal. But okay. I just find it so odd.
They all make the same mistake going to Tottenham, thinking they can do something, thinking they can win a trophy. That club is just cursed.
It would be fascinating going back to Kompany. I know he's starting like the contract goes to 2028, but if he does really well his first season and comfortably keeps Burnley in the Premier League, it'd be interesting to see.
True.
In like this time next year, like some like middling club, like I don't know, like a Spurs or something like that, or I'm trying to think who else. Us. Or I can't think of any middling club, because I can't even go
Palace maybe.
Emery's doing Palace. Leicester, if they stay up, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah,
it's one of those.
I'd say Wolves.
Wolves. It would be like if
they got Lopetegui.
Eddie Howe
true.
Next season handling Europe and stuff like that.
True.
See if he does badly and stuff, or the obvious links will be, if he does well, the Man City links will grow, and it'll be like Arteta versus Kompany to replace Pep.
Oh my days, I could see that.
Well,
yeah. Next, the next tweet that I did want to discuss on this topic was I got a little loading here. Okay, there we go.
Buffering.
New PC incoming, boys. Don't worry. All right. The conversations are still ongoing and will continue in the next hours and days in regards to Mauricio Pochettino. Two members of Chelsea board went to Barcelona last week to meet Mauricio Pochettino. Crucial points like length of contract and long-term projects are still being discussed. And the next tweet I have here.
But that makes no sense, because didn't we just have a meeting with him in LA? What's all this traveling?
They just want to meet in different areas. I don't know.
Fair enough.
Apparently so. I don't know. And then Matt Law here reporting. Chelsea are currently negotiating the final details of Pochettino's contract to become the club's next permanent head coach. Telegraph Sport understands that an offer has been made to Pochettino, and the Chelsea remain optimistic that the details of the deal will be agreed with the Argentine, thought to be excited by the challenge. Argentine. I got it. They understood.
Ting Tang.
When it comes to the length of contract, are you guys concerned that we might give Pochettino a 5-year?
3 years. It should be 3 years. It should be 2 with an option of 1.
Yeah,
he probably won't take that. So it'll probably be. I would go 3 with an option of 1 and see if he takes like that.
You think he wouldn't take a 5-year? Is that what you're saying? Or you think he wouldn't take a
5-year?
Okay.
But we don't want a 5-year.
Well, depends on the wage, I suppose. But then again, Potter's 5-year contract, we were supposed to pay 60 million out, right? But it was only 13 million. I say 13 million in terms of this. Obviously, football, 13 million is a huge amount of money, no matter any things. But we only paid out 13 million. So I don't know. Contract's overrated, right? They're just ready to secure both sides, really. They can break whenever they want. You know what I mean? Be interested. It'd be interesting if there's a break clause in there somewhere, and what the break clause is. But it's in contracts. Don't matter if you're doing well, do they?
Actually, speaking of, was there a clause in Potter's contract, or did we just pay out the remaining of his contract?
No, because
I think it was just false reporting about what the payout was.
No, but there was actually I can't remember who. It might have been the Athletic. They were saying that most contracts do have like a clause in there that like if you don't reach this target, and we were debating like would it be like us not qualifying for the Champions League like when we're mathematically out of it, or when we go up against Real Madrid. So that clause, whatever it may be, must have come into effect because we didn't. What we had to pay. I think we had. How much was it? We had to pay him. I think we had to pay 48 million. Like if we were to pay out the rest of his contract from now, and obviously we only paid about 13. So there must have been something that happened there.
Maybe, hopefully, it'd be wise. I do have this fear in the back of my head that I don't think we learned from the contract length. I think that may be a lesson that did go over the owners' heads, and we might actually sign this guy for a while. Which, again, if he does well, who cares? Andrew said, like, no one cares about the contract if they're doing well. Which is, I think Pochettino will do well.
What if it's incentive based like the players' ones?
That'd be interesting.
I'm just saying bonus types and everything like that. If you get a winner cup, if you get 6, if you get 4th, if you win the league, if you whatever. Do you know what I mean? If you win 10 games in a row, if you're undefeated, if you don't, stuff like that.
Wait a minute. Didn't Mourinho have that kind of contract at Tottenham?
Yes, that's why they got rid of him. There was a bonus if he won a cup, he'd have to get. I think it was like.
I forgot. That was in the back of my head. I totally forgot about that.
I'm going to be really random here. I think it was anywhere from 10 to 20 million pound bonus of winning.
Oh my god!
I could be drastically wrong. That's why I don't know the actual official thing. But that was the thing. That's why they got rid of him because they had to pay him out for if they won the cup, which is weird because they were playing City. So why would they think they were going to win the cup, even if he's done there? So
that's insane.
Mourinho magic.
Hopefully we don't do that, obviously. But it would be interesting to have an incentivized contract.
You would think there would be a bonus for winning things.
Yeah, I would hope so.
You know what I mean? Even no matter what it is. Obviously, there might be different stages depending on how they think of the cups, but one of those.
Yeah,
I'm just hoping that now that we're mathematically safe from relegation, any of these rumors that apparently he was going to wait for that are diminished, and he does sign soon.
That was true. That would make him such a baller in my eyes. That he would just he was waiting. You know what? I don't want to play Millwall twice next year or Luton twice next year. You know what I mean? I don't really want to go up to Barnsley on Tuesday night at range. You know what I mean? I don't want to do that. Thank you. Let's wait until you know what it is. I'm trying to figure out. I think he's got this mind that you need me more than I need you, sort of thing. Do you know what I mean?
And you know what? He's right.
I think he's right.
He's right.
No, I think he's right. I do as well.
I do respect that he's not like, for lack of a better term, a yes man. And he has some standards and he's negotiating. That's why they're still negotiating these final details. He does want to join the club, but at the same time, he has some things that he wants to be done. And
I think maybe the part of it as well is like setting down rules.
Yeah.
Right?
Do not come into the locker room while I'm having a talk.
I know this is your club, but you can't, like, if the dressing room thing's real, you can't be in there during the game. Yeah. Or after the game. And certain, like, if you're in Cobham, you want to come down to Cobham? No problem. Yeah, Cobham's like a more private area, right? Stuff like that. Cobham's fine. That's all good. During the games, after the games, no, not happening. I need to be involved in all transfers in terms of, like, I just wanted to discuss it. Whether we get them or not, you know what I mean? It's a different thing. And also, probably what's boosted them up in their eyes is, like, because I thought Enrique, one of the reports of Enrique was that he literally went in there and went, I need better wingers.
Yeah.
You
know what I mean? And he just spent like a bunch on wide players and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It was like,
obviously doesn't look good.
Poch probably's gone in there and gone, yeah, I'd like to work with.
I can work with these guys. Yeah.
Just a few additions here and there, which is obvious because they've said they're going to go out and buy them. But, hey, Rashi, hold that, man. That's all I'm saying. Your mouth the other night, man. Your mouth the other night. Yeah.
And I will end it on this, by the way. Do we believe that with Poch we can be a top 4 side again, or because I'm of the belief that I think with Poch we can be a top 6 side. I just think the competition is very, very stiff now.
Who is this guy, man? Who are you, Southpaw?
Oh, right.
Who are you, Southpaw?
I was going to say, Marshall, I think top 5 is like, hopefully we can get top 5. I don't want, because isn't 6th position Conference League?
No. What they're doing
no,
is so from the 2024 season, they're introducing the Swiss model for the Champions League.
Yeah, but it's not. Is that next season then?
No, it's the season after. So
Well, yeah.
So Chris, what would happen is if we finish 5th next season, then we qualify for the Champions League next season for some like coefficient. I don't know.
So
but...
if we finish 5th next season, you're saying we go Champions League?
I think so. I'm not 100% sure,
guys.
but
have your hopes.
Don't try. And
I'd advise everyone to read into that a bit more, but there are rule changes.
I trust you. I trust you, man. We get 5th, we get Champions League. Don't
I
disappoint.
don't know. I don't know if I trust myself now. I think about it, but just go and read it. I don't know.
I would say this. Just going back to Southport thing. Poch is not the guy. I would say it's Poch. Not backed at Spurs. Not backed at Spurs a lot. Got Spurs playing. Made Spurs the most dangerous Spurs in Premier League history. Now they didn't get over the line. That's fine. I don't know what Poch is because it'll be a different even from PSG. He's not going to have players like Neymar, Messi, and Mbappe where he's emboldened to in terms of having to play them and stuff like that. Let's see what he does. We have no idea what Pochettino is like. He was restrained by both his former clubs, right? In terms of finances and players and stuff like that. And you can say, well, Chelsea suffered from that in the past. Maybe true, but let's see what he can do. You know what I mean? Southpaw.
I am interested. I am interested.
I have answers for this. For this qualification for Champions League, like hypothetical.
Go for it, Pete.
Go for it, yeah.
Basically, since we're going to be out of the Champions League, we're going to lose 30 coefficient points due to winning the Europa League in 2019 because UEFA coefficients are calculated in 5-year cycles. Our total puts us in 3rd currently, but since we won't be in European competition because we are trash next season, we are going to lose an entire year's worth of UEFA coefficient points in our 5-year cycle. All right, so we're going to drop from 3rd to 10th or possibly 11th, depending on what Roma do. And how this works is with the legacy spots, it is the 2 highest places or the 2 highest ranking clubs in the UEFA coefficient that don't normally finish in the Champions League spots. So, like, for example, if we finish 5th and United finish 6th next year, they would go in ahead of us because they would then be above us in the UEFA coefficients.
Right. Okay.
It sounds a bit confusing, but I get with it when
it's not overly confusing. It's just not a well-written rule. Like the spirit of it makes no sense.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I'd welcome getting in the 4th pot of UCL. I want to battle from the start.
Yeah, we should do it, man.
I'm not sure how they generate the fixtures when the reformatting happens, but I just know, like, if you finish outside top 4, it goes to UEFA coefficient, and ours will not be good because we're not in anything next year.
But do we have the legacy thing though?
Yeah, the legacy applies. It trickles down though. Like United are above us.
Oh, right, yeah.
So if they're in it already, then yeah, we're sweet. But if they're not, then it goes to them instead of us, kind of thing.
Screw it, man. Just gonna have to win the league next year.
My god. Yeah, easy.
Getting that pot 1, right?
I believe we can actually get a good chance of getting top 4 if we actually make the right signings. Like, say for example, get striker, DM, and goalkeeper, and like Andrew wants, get rid of a shit ton of players like we don't need.
I'm just worried. Yeah, I'm just worried. Like, and I know, like, I think Poch is a good manager. Is he? I just don't think he's the guy. And the reason I don't think he's the guy because I think Pep is a better manager. I think Jurgen Klopp is a better manager. I think Ten Hag is a better manager. Eddie Howe is. Eddie,
it's debatable.
Sure. It's debatable. Eddie Howe is in that contention now. You can say that Arteta is in that contention.
I'm not putting Eddie Howe up there.
Let me ask you a question.
This
And
competition is what I'm
I'm
saying,
just going
guys.
to take it, Poch, of what he did at Southampton and Spurs, because PSG's just a, you know,
Sure.
you know, and I think, do you not think if Pochettino was at Newcastle, he'd have them doing things like this, where they are right now, a chance, or around where they are right now? Given that, you know, he did build a very good defense at Spurs. They did play good football. Their left back and right back situation were nearly up there with the best of them. Stuff like that, you know. I just think I'm you know, Klopp and Pep, fine. I don't think you can really do anything at this moment. And Klopp's slipping downwards to the
sure.
By the way, it's just Pep out by himself, then Klopp, and then there's a little gap to the rest, stuff like that. I don't know. We never know, do we? We don't know if Poch will be able to do something like that. I think he stands more of a chance of. I would look back at his Spurs and his Southampton tenures and see how he see what he did with those clubs.
When you put it that way, it does paint a picture that, you know what, if Eddie Howe can do it at Newcastle, I'm sure Poch can do it at Chelsea. But I do worry about the competition. And let's not forget, I didn't even mention who potentially could take over for Spurs.
Yeah.
You know,
big competition.
There's a lot of competition now. Emery as well is in there. You know, there's
going to be clubs next year that are going to be in Europe for the first time ever, or the first time in decades. Yeah, Newcastle Champions League, right? Let's see how the expectations are handled then. What they do in the summer to spend. Brighton probably Europa League, right? How do they cope with that with their squad? Do they expand on that squad?
Zerbi, I forgot to mention Zerbi.
Are they able to keep their, even though they get, are they still able to keep their stars? Because McAllister's been linked now away.
Yeah.
Will they be able to keep Matoma and stuff like that? Plus playing Thursday, Sunday football. And then there's Brentford, who could possibly make it, maybe as an outside chance, but possibly Tony's leaving, even with a ban, you know?
Yeah.
And then you got Villa, stuff like that. So it's all interesting. I mean, people talk about top 6. We could be talking about legitimately a top 8 or a top 10. Just how ridiculous all the levels of maybe just 1 and then 9.
It's City.
It's like nine clubs battling for free places in the Champions League, essentially. You know,
it's gonna be.
Everyone goes about like, Arsenal will definitely improve next year. I like to see how they handle Champions League and stuff like that, because I tell you what might happen to them. They might finish third in that group and be in Europa League again. So
And
next
let's
season,
see as well, let's see if Arsenal have a hangover from if they don't win, whether they do or don't win the Premier League title. Let's see if they have a hangover from the title race.
Yeah, it's possible. I think next season for sure, if things go well and we get Poch, it's going to be one hell of a season next season with all the managers that are in now the Premier League. So that being said, guys, I'm going to send you over to Sarcasm City. We will have less match reviews. That is true, sadly. But that being said, guys, I'm sending you over to Sarcasm City again. Make sure you say what's up to Flawless over there. He's obviously a little upset because of their loss today. So go cheer him up, man. Tell them the casuals are coming. All right. Go ahead, copy and paste that message over to them. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel. Help us get to 1,800 subscribers. We're very, very close to that number. If you're new here, go ahead and smash that subscribe. If you haven't done so already, if you haven't wiped your feet at the door, go ahead and click on that like. It does help us with the algorithm on YouTube and help the channel grow as well. Leave a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts on everything. Check out the links in the description for all our other content, Discord, Twitter, my other YouTube channel. All that fun stuff is there. Also, be sure to consider becoming a member, as it is a fun little way to help out the channel and also get yourself more involved with the community here at the Casually FC channel. So, guys, thank you so much. We'll see you over on Sarcasm City. And I think I'll see you again. When's our next game? Next weekend?
I think Sunday.
Next Saturday, Forest.
Yeah. Okay. So Saturday will be the Forest review. Wednesday we might have a stream. I'm not sure yet. Hit the bell notification so you don't miss out when we do streams. So, guys, Have a good
Hopefully
one.
Poch is announced this week. Then we'll do.
Hopefully,
yeah,
Poch is announced. Yeah, we'll definitely do a stream if Poch gets announced early this week. But that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching. Stay casual and peace out.